Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to the stream. Welcome back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back, annotated Let's Play where we try to discover the deeper underlying meanings behind Jonathan Blow's The Witness. And before we get into this, we got to do a little bit of mailbag about our previous episode, and we got to talk about the vases in the boathouse. Now, I think I did a very poor job trying to explain my feelings towards the vases, or vases. I'm going to just switch between those throughout this, so I'm going to try to explain it again. Each vase is one of the potential solutions to the door to basically get in. So what I'm saying here is to assign them as being numbers through binary is something that's a bit presumptuous, because all the vases have to exist there because they represent the different solutions. We know that the vases represent the solutions. Applying another meaning to it like binary is not necessary because we know what they represent. They represent the different solutions. The fact that there are 8 kind of create this feeling that it should be binary. And a lot of people mentioned in the comments that it is the numbers 0 through 7 in binary. That is kind of coincidental, and granted, you could argue that the order that they're laid out implies that they're supposed to be read this way, but again, all 8 have to exist there because of what they represent, which is the solutions. Applying an extra meaning of binary is something that we're doing. Now, that is to say that I don't believe that they are a message or anything like that, at least not as they are currently laid out. If we are applying the meaning that they are the numbers 0 through 7, then the answer, or the puzzle itself, the panel where you can input them, kind of works as a keypad. Now, I think that this is incorrect. I think we understand what the vases are. I think that the vases are representations of the possible answers to that panel. But the fact that they rise up and you can kind of activate them does seem to imply that there could be a deeper meaning and purpose, and this could be, in fact, a keypad. In the comments, people were pretty split. People thought that perhaps they meant something, perhaps they're nothing, but my current interpretation is I do not think they represent anything other than the possible answers to that panel. But if they represent anything more, then it is not the vases that are important, but the inputting them onto that panel to use it as a keypad that will lead to something. I don't know what that is, though. So if you have any theories of this thing that I'm pretty sure isn't there, please let me know in the comments down below. I also want to shout out Draken. Draken talks about the passageway in the keep that is bouldered up. Draken believes that that is very purposeful because the theme of the keep is keeping and shielding away information, which makes a lot more sense because I was thinking about the one statue that's underneath one of the puzzles is on kind of like this lectern, like they're kind of up high, and people are offering these bags of something, which we would assume are of value, like perhaps bags of gold, and the lectern that they're on, or the podium that they're on, is already full of them. But from the perspective of the person giving it up to them, they can't see that, but we can. So it is important to see it from the angle that we do, because seeing it from the angle that that doorway would create would make us as ignorant as that statue. But being up high and looking down gives us the information of the truth of the situation. You could also imply some sort of relationship of God looking down upon them, like the victim of this is unaware that they're a victim. They think they're doing something correct and giving money for some reason that is needed, even though we can see as an above looking down, as if God from heaven looks down and sees this, can judge what is correct and what is proper and what is moral. And God, seeing this, can actually interfere with it. Again, it's a bit of a stretch, but it is definitely an interpretation. And now let's get back to my Let's Play, because that'll close up the mailbag. I do say that I'm going to go up the mountain. And I do go up the mountain, but not the way that you think. This is not a skippable episode, as we're going to do a lot of audio talk in this one, but not a lot of panels in this one. So take it away, Player Noah.
Maybe it's time we go to the mountain. Maybe it is time we just go to the mountain. We can come back and do cleanup later. Let's go to the mountain. Instead of just standing here and overanalyzing. I am going to go look at the map one more time. And see if there's any, like, very obvious, like, thing I could go do. I believe all of these audio clips are in the mountain. So we can go do those. I might be able to get this audio clip. That might not be in the mountain. What is that? It's like a red... That's an interesting thing to see there. I don't know what that's reflecting. Saw something with red right here. Don't see it from this angle. Alright, this is just a final quick check. Anything like very obviously near a thing that I can spot. And all those flowers are open. That one's a bit odd. Let's go take a quick peek at that one. This one's a bit odd too. Where would this be? If you think this is the mountain, right? That's the mountain there. What laser is this? That's the flower one. It's like, this is basically claiming it's on the end of the map, so I should probably just walk the beach a little bit and I'll be able to find this one. Listen to me immediately stop listening to my own advice. Like, let's go do the mountain and stop doing cleanup. Let's check cleanup just one more quick time. Hey, I have a thing I want to go do instead of going to the mountain. Look how quickly I have fallen. Because there's another one over here, it looked like. Because this is the boat. I did the ship, rather. I completed the ship. But there looks like, what is that? Okay. I thought I saw a face for a minute right there. Where would this be in terms of the map? Because if that is that... That last box is this last laser. It's not really by the ship. I guess it would be like right behind me. Because I'm trying, that's the ship. It's not super parallel with the ship. This laser is the keep laser. Yeah, it would be like directly behind me and like far back, but not directly on the shore. So it should be somewhere in here. Wait. There's this laser. And I know that there is a... There's the obelisk. Where would that... Where's this obelisk on the map? Is that that? No, that doesn't make sense. Because this laser has the sound clip. So that's the forest laser. Like the one I'm currently right next to. And it looks like if I'm in front of that a little bit and just keep going back, I'll be able to find it. So I'm using the map. I'm using map skills. Because here's the laser. Open flower, or the other sound clip, is right here. So it should be straight back if I follow this path. Should be somewhere along here. I'm a little ahead of the laser, like this. I should come across it here. If it was sitting right here on that stump, I would have just pooped my pants. I'm like slightly off the path. Is it up on these rocks, maybe? Can I get up on these rocks, maybe? There's that door I don't like. Can I get up on these rocks? Now I have a new idea. I want to get up on these rocks. I think I can. Because this is the other boathouse. Ooh, I don't think I've ever been here. I found it! Interesting. Okay, so where are we?
Hey, Editor Noah jumping in for this one. Just real quick, please remember this place. This place will be very important later in the video, and it will also be very important in later videos. So I just want you, if you're watching this, to kind of take note of this location, because it will be quite important later.
This is a very interesting spot, because this looks like a shipping container that could have been found from the ship that sank. All right, audio clip. Let's listen.
In a sense, what modern physics is to the history of Western thought, Zen is to the development of the Eastern worldview, the ultimate refinement of more than 2,000 years of incisive debate, discussion, and critical development. Yet the difference between the two could hardly be more marked. Whereas physics is interested above all in theories, concepts, and formulas, Zen values only the concrete and the simple. Zen wants facts, not in the Western sense of things that are measurable and numerical, which are in fact abstractions, but as living, immediate, and tangible. Its approach to understanding is not to theorize, because it recognizes that previously accumulated ideas and knowledge, in other words, memories of all kinds, block the direct perception of reality. Therefore, Zen adopts an unusual approach. Its buildup involves language, which is unavoidable. Any method, even if it turns out to be an anti-method, has first to convey some background in order to be effective. But the way Zen uses language is always to point beyond language, beyond concepts to the concrete. David Darling, 1996.
David Darling. Huh. I'm going to be real with you guys. That didn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right, guys. Welcome to the reason this video came out late. I've been trying to dissect this quote for quite some time, and I don't think I'm really any closer to truly understanding it, but this is what I have for you. First, let's talk about what is Zen. Zen, at its core, is a spin-off or an offshoot of Buddhism. So the way that, there's Christianity, but then there's also Baptists and Catholics. There is Buddhism, and then there's also the Zen artist, which kind of really puts a damper on the old joke of, oh, I'm feeling so Zen right now. That's kind of like saying, oh, I'm feeling so Lutheran right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The definition of Zen from a Zen master that I watched on YouTube, so you know that it's real, is basically Zen is the feeling or the thing you get, the thing you gain through meditation. And the study of Zen is the study of oneself. And the best way to study oneself is to forget oneself and find its relationship with the world around you. Do you see why this took so long for me to really nail down? This makes some sense if you kind of think of the situation where Buddhism is about becoming one with the everything, one with the universe, and starting that journey by realizing who you are personally and your relationship with that universe. Thus, you can be part and one with it. And you cannot be one with it if yourself is separate from the world around you. And thus, you need to forget yourself and your version of yourself so that you can join the world around you. It's really confusing and really hard to understand. I spent a lot of time on this, and I'm doing the absolute best I can with the information that I have here. But the language that David Darling is using here is kind of this idea of physics and Zen kind of being opposing forces, because physics has a lot to do with theorizing, and Zen has a lot to do with knowing what is true. And my interpretation of this is there's a lot in physics that we can almost prove, like theories that we have so much evidence for that you can be like, this is true. Zen is knowledge based on feeling, things that you feel are true. This is the best way I think I can explain this. And I could be off base here, but try to stay with me. Check out this microphone. It was nearby, so I grabbed it. This microphone is made up of atoms. So there's a lot of atoms floating around in here. As a matter of fact, most of this is empty space. Even though it's hard and it's heavy, there is more space between the atoms than there are atoms. And thus, this is a majority of empty space. Okay? We can almost say that with certainty. Like, it's still a theory, but we have a lot of evidence to support that this is how the structure of our world is made. Right? Now, I take this microphone and I bash you over the head with it. Are you going to feel like I hit you with empty space? Or are you going to feel like I hit you with a heavy and expensive object? Like, weird choice on my part. You're probably going to feel the second way. So, my interpretation of this is we have so many theories of what this is, of how this works and how this is structured as an object in space. But that information is irrelevant to the relationship you now have with it and the relationship that I have with it. And that knowledge, this is hard, I feel it, is far more important and valuable to my relationship with it than this is atoms floating around in empty space. That is my interpretation of what Darling is saying here. It's very confusing. Zen as a concept is very confusing, and I have studied Buddhism. I've mentioned that before. I'm by no means a master, but there is an intangibility to explaining Zen. There's a thing that I was reading that basically enlightenment happens by accident, and meditation makes you accident prone. I've also said before that, like talking about the witness, if the witness could be explained in a sentence, it wouldn't be a video game. It needs to be expressed in this video game. Zen is very difficult and cannot be expressed in words because it is an experience you kind of have or walk into. So this quote is very difficult and very hard. But the one thing we've been talking about with these audio clips is the location where you find them is important. And this is a very strange location to find something like this. It is in a very nature spot. It's like hidden in the woods, but it is also in a hard metal container. So that's the real thing about this I can't quite find. I can bang my head against the wall and come up with 100 ways to explain what I believe this quote means. What's important is explaining what this quote has to do with the deeper meaning of the witness. And I don't know. It seems to be arguing this idea that you should just know things with feelings, and this is something that I'll get into later. The idea of when it comes to the witness, there is the learning stage, there is the knowing stage, and then there's the feeling stage. There's, how do these black and white dots work? Followed by, I understand how these black and white dots work, but how do I solve this puzzle? Which is then followed by, black and white puzzle, I know how this goes. Blam! Without thinking. I think that's what we're trying to lead to with Zen. Like, we can understand the concepts of the witness, but then there's this new experience of just knowing, it just being part of you. That's the best I could do with context for this quote. I worked really hard on this quote, guys, and I don't have a lot of answers, but hopefully some of this has satisfied or sparked your curiosity, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
At all. The idea of it's basically stating that Zen is less of a spiritual thing and more of a science. I'm trying to look at the Tree of Many Faces, which I can't from this area, which is interesting. It's implying that Zen is a science that more to deal with facts, because a lot of people consider Zen like to be very emotional and have more to do with feelings. Weird. The name bothers me because I just finished, like maybe a month ago, playing Control, and Dr. Darling is one of the main characters in Control.
Yes, Casper Darling is from the game Control, perhaps a reference to David Darling, because I don't understand what Casper Darling is saying either. Casper Darling is basically the one who is responsible for finding the Hiss, the villains of Control that come and possess all the humans inside the oldest house. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's basically set up for the game Control, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything. But I do want to just throw out there that originally Control was on the docket to be the game that replaces this one when this series ends, because I wanted to keep these kind of annotated Let's Plays alive because I like them, and Control was the next game I was going to do. Granted, I made this decision when Control came out. This series has been going on for a while, and it's much longer than I thought it was going to be, and much harder to make. But I want to throw it out there, hey, is Control a good idea for the next annotated series, or would you like to see something else? I know I've asked this question before, but I think about it a lot, so I'll ask it again.
He's the one that allows Polaris to enter us, and he gives himself up to Polaris so the Hiss can be defeated. Spoilers for Control? I don't know. Alright. I want to find this guy now. I want to use the map. So I'm lining myself up with what? Because I think this is the center of the mountain. So if I go past the mountain and find an obelisk, and then cut backwards from where I'm currently facing, I should be able to find this. Maybe these are probably all inside. Still. Maybe this will work. In terms of this, it's kind of like a weird outset thing. I'm also like, I should probably think about this stick, right? I wonder what this big ass stick represents in terms of a map. Huh. Okay. So, trying to think here. This is the forest laser. So I guess this is the town laser? I did finish the temple, right? I'm going to go check the temple as well. Because I really want to know where that obelisk is. But okay, here we go. Yeah, I did finish the temple. The temple's right here. Where is that laser? Is that right here? Because that seems to be the left laser, right? Oh, that's really in this corner. And that is not behind what I thought was the mountain. Maybe that's the temple laser? Because if this is the starting area, no, where's the starting area? This is the starting area, okay? So that means like this area, because this is the lake. This is the lake, like this is where like that orange shipping container is here. Ooh, there's another audio clip right here. I need to find this stuff is. And there's a throwaway puzzle. Oh my god, there's so much to do. So much to do, so much to see. Alright, so let's take stock of the map again. We know where that spot is. So this has got to be the corner of the map. So I'm going to look for this one real quick, and then we're going to try to find this one. Okay. I don't need no stinking guide. Okay, because obelisk is here. And the sound clip is here. So there's one, like, somewhere in, like, this area. Maybe in this building. Or down there. There's that orange shipping container I was talking about. I just want to check, like, here. Doesn't appear to be anything here. Maybe it's down here.
And this is the moment I wanted you to remember. I walk past this little puzzle, this little area that I've done before, and something new clicked in Editor Noah's brain. And that is the use of orange metals to create these puzzles. The fact that the metal here is orange implies that it comes from the ship. Or perhaps a broken storage container, like where we found the audio clip recently. Notice that chunks of that container are missing. I would like to propose the theory that that metal was moved from that storage container and placed here to create these puzzles. I think it makes a lot of sense that whoever was on this island would use the resources available to them, which is a shipwreck and leftover storage containers, to create things. It also really supports the theory that the town is the final area created. Because, yes, it's using all of the rules and things like that from the rest of the town, but it's also, or the rest of the island rather, but it's also using materials from other areas that had to have been brought over that may have come later in the timeline. So that is my theory to you. I believe that the orange metal here is stolen either from the ship or maybe even the storage container, which then implies that it might have some sort of ties to the Darling quote, which I'm not going to go into anymore because I'm tired of thinking of it.
What am I hearing? I don't know what I'm hearing there. I thought maybe it was right here, but it's not. There's the I got this one. Did I open this door yet? I opened one of them. I gotta still have to solve this puzzle. How do I do this? Ooh, how do I do this? Huh, because they all gotta be... I think I figured out why I haven't solved this puzzle yet. Because these can't rotate from what they are. So like those two are currently correct. And now those three are correct, but I can't get that fourth one without doing that. Like now they're all correct. Because like this is wrong. Because I can't rotate this one. If I can't rotate them, they have to be... I don't know. I don't know at all. There's no other way to go. So this is the first move. That's the only thing I know for sure. But if I come up here, going straight doesn't help me. Like, I'm just trying to decide the point where each one, like each turn makes it become unsolvable. This makes it become unsolvable because I can't ever do the rest. So that makes me think I need to go out this way. It's still possible to solve at this point. And then I come in the middle. Don't know how to solve this one. Just trying to see if like I could look at the back of it and see an answer. this is a weird puzzle. Like, I'm trying to think if there's... Okay. Okay. If I slide this piece over to... Oh, that's what it is. Ready? That's technically correct. With the two bottom ones. I just made them switch sides. So I could also do that with these guys. So, like, technically, this is also correct. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so the in whole there has to be 9 boxes on the inside, 4 on the outside. Okay, so it's this. What's up? I just figured out this puzzle. That's what's up. Boom. Okay. I messed my hair up getting excited. Yeah, so these shapes have to exist within the line. It doesn't look like it does that, but this shape is right here. This shape is right here. So I just make them switch places. Cool. That's a great puzzle.
Okay, real quick. I know I'm like interrupting in a weird spot here, but I find this to be important. As I was walking away, I noticed this broken cable. I don't know what this cable goes to. I would assume somewhere there is a panel that activates this cable. I don't know where it is or what it is. This is something that like I just saw when I was doing the editing, so I have to go back and investigate this. But it did get my mind thinking enough that I had to bring this question forward to you. If this cable links to a panel that thus cannot fire because it is broken, does it count as a puzzle? If the answer to that question is no, that this is a unsolvable puzzle in a way, like I can't turn whatever this is on, so it is a puzzle that is incompletable. What does that mean for the elevator in the greenhouse? In the greenhouse area, there's an elevator, and depending on how you solve that panel, you move to different floors. But there is one floor that you cannot access because the wire has been cut. So when you solve it, it just kind of shoots sparks out. If that panel, when solved that way, does not count towards your total of puzzles solved, and this does not count as a panel that is solvable, that means there are 2 unsolvable puzzles that exist on the island that assumably have solutions. They're just impossible because they're broken, which would bring the total number of puzzles up to 666. Now, I do not know whether or not, or how, the panel in the greenhouse elevator works. I don't know if each solution counts as a puzzle, or if this panel is just one puzzle. I could not find the information on that. I actually asked the Reddit and haven't heard back from them yet, but this is a theory I wanted to throw out there. It's still in its, like, forming stages, but I think it's very important to know how that one panel works in the greenhouse. Is it one puzzle, or is it several? And does the broken one count?
Do you have anything interesting to say regarding the Witness? Right now I'm just kind of doing cleanup. Because I'm looking for this audio clip that it's got to be somewhere like directly on where the land meets the water. So that's what I'm kind of looking. Oh, you haven't got a chance to... Do you have a PlayStation? Because it's free on PlayStation. Like, you don't even need PlayStation Plus. It's just free. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of looking for secrets. According to the secret map, there's a secret audio clip somewhere on the beach here. I am looking for it. Oh. Did I walk? Yep. Hey, hey. Oh, I think I got this one already.
O Lord God, helper of those who seek you, I see you in the garden of paradise, and I do not know what I see, because I see nothing visible. I know this alone, that I know that I do not know what I see, and that I can never know. I do not know how to name you, because I do not know what you are.
I remember this one.
Should anyone tell me that you are named by this or that name, by the fact that one gives a name, I know that it is not your name. For the wall beyond which I see you is the limit of every mode of signification by names. Should anyone express any concept by which you could be conceived, I know that this concept is not a concept of you, for every concept finds its boundary at the wall of paradise. Should anyone express any likeness and say that you ought to be conceived according to it, I know in the same way that this is not a likeness of you. So too, if anyone, wishing to furnish the means by which you might be understood, should set forth an understanding of you, one is still far removed from you. For the highest wall separates you from all these, and secludes you from everything that can be said or thought, because you are absolute from all the things that can fall within any concept. Nicholas of Cusa, 1453.
I think we've discussed this one before. This one seems to be referring to this man who's reaching up to the heavens. Upon looking closer, it looks like he's looking for like the Holy Grail. Oh God, he wants it so bad. He already has it if you look at the shadow. Stop looking. You already have everything you need. That being said, I'm going to continue to look around, see, find this thing I can't seem to find, because it's the thing I need. I feel like it should be right here. Like, I feel like I just checked out this area, too, like, a couple streams ago. But, like, I'm behind the laser. Do I need the boat? Is it in the rocks? This definitely seems like that part of the lake map is like right here. Frustration. Castration. Alright. Checking the buoy. Do I really want to take on a freaking boat ride? No, we'll go up the mountain. I'm gonna open the big ass box. It's box time. I think I might have missed a few of the environmentals when it comes to this building. So. I love just like the idea of me running around talking about the philosophy of like letting go of things and just accepting things and moving forward instead of getting hung up on the details. Just repeating that over and over again as that's the thing I'm doing. Hey! Ooh, I never found this. Alright, cool. Found a throwaway panel. Well, an impossible one. Oh no. There we go. Got Hey, audio clip. This is a new one.
The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Whoever does not know it and can no longer wonder, no longer marvel, is as good as dead and his eyes are dimmed. It was the experience of mystery, even if mixed with fear, that engendered religion. A knowledge of the existence of something we cannot penetrate, our perceptions of the profoundest reason and the most radiant beauty, which only in their most primitive forms are accessible to our minds. It is this knowledge and this emotion that constitute true religiosity. In this sense, and in this alone, I am a deeply religious man. I cannot conceive of a God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or has a will of the kind that we experience in ourselves. Neither can I, nor would I, want to conceive of an individual that survives his physical death. Let feeble souls, from fear or absurd egoism, cherish such thoughts. I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life, and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the existing world, together with the devoted striving to comprehend a portion, be it ever so tiny, of the reason that manifests itself in nature. Albert Einstein, 1931.
Einstein. So basically, that is stating that, like, the joy of not knowing something and getting to search for answers and search for discovery. There's part of me that wants to say that part of it is, like, also trying to make a comment of, like, once you know the answer, it's not mysterious, and thus you are no longer able to marvel at things. So knowing everything is not good for you. I feel like a lot of the things in this game is basically just telling me to stop doing what I'm doing. But here I am, doing it more. Doing it.
Yeah, so let's talk about good old Albert Einstein here. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. And this makes sense coming from someone who knows so much about how the world works. The idea of the things that fascinate him most are the things he can't understand, and the search for more things that are mysterious once you've gained knowledge. So I kind of had two minds about this. One was the idea of keeping things mysterious, and I say it in the Let's Play of, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I should be enjoying the mystery here. This reminds me of a TED Talk that was done by J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams talks about the beauty of the mystery box and talks about, as a child, he bought a toy. It was like a magic kit, I believe, with a mystery inside. Like, you don't know what the trick is until you open it. And he never opened it because he enjoyed the mystery of wondering what it is. So there's the idea of the mysterious is the best part of life, thus leave it mysterious. Which is not the interpretation I'm really going with here. The interpretation I'm going with here is constantly look for what is mysterious and revel in it, which is what this Let's Play actually is. The Witness is a very mysterious game, and in searching for an answer, we are enjoying it, and we are reveling in it, and we are, searching for answers, and that is one of the most beautiful experiences you can have. But if solved, the next move is what is the next mystery. So I don't think it is the harm of solving something. It is the enjoyment of solving something. And that is part of enjoying the experience of the mysterious, is solving it. That's my interpretation as of right now. He also says in this that I am a deeply religious man. I cannot conceive of God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or have a will of the kind that experience in ourselves. Neither would I want to conceive of an individual that survives his physical death. That's such like an interesting idea that going back to the idea of let it be mysterious, is death is life's greatest mystery. What happens beyond death? And not wanting to know it. But this could also be explained as not wanting to know somebody else's experience, because that would ruin the surprise for me when I die. Sounds kind of grim, the idea of death being one of the most beautiful experiences a human can go through because it is mysterious, but that is kind of my interpretation here. And he goes on to say, I want to make sure I have the right line here, about eternal life. I am satisfied with the mystery of eternal life and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the existing world. The idea that Albert Einstein calls eternal life a mystery is very interesting to me personally, because I remember when I was in Catholic school, I was so Catholic right now. When I was in Catholic school, Albert Einstein was the scientific evidence of heaven for me. I remember being told, and it was an interesting idea, Albert Einstein was a religious person, but he was one of the most scientific minds in the world. He came up with the idea that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. So, if I were to throw something in space where there is no friction, it would continue on forever because there is no outside force stopping it. What stops things in motion in reality, in our planet, is friction. When you roll something, there's friction between the ground and whatever it is you threw, and that friction is what slows something to a halt. The friction is the energy changing form from something in motion to heat energy because of the friction between the two items. This was then explained to me that there is energy inside the human body that you might want to call a soul. And when you die, that energy must go somewhere. It does not end. It is not destroyed. It simply must change form. And that was the idea of your soul going to heaven. To now, years later, with that being taught to me years ago and always being in the back of my mind, to read something where Albert Einstein saying he is satisfied with the mystery of eternal life, when I had been taught for years that Albert Einstein was the answer to why there is eternal life, is so weird to me. Like, I know we've jumped away from the Witness, but it's been a weird week because of these audio clips that I've been smashing into all week. So I really wanted to stress, well, I question everything I've ever been taught right now. Cool. So what does this have to do with the Witness? Well, I think it's about what I said before. It's all about solving and enjoying the mystery that has been presented to us. But also, I don't know what happens when we die. Isn't that cool? Also, the clouds look like a smiley face. You see it? That's awesome.
Again. Let's see if I can get to the top of this damn mountain. Well, this was not the way to go. Wait, there we go. There it is. This was the way to go. I lied. That's right. There's the woman reaching. Hi. Your elbow's broken. Going up the mountain. Hey, a little backpacker. You coming up here too. Come on, let's go. Let's get up the mountain. Yes, yes. No. Because what I really want to do, there's a secret way to solve this. You can kind of see it. You you gotta look from underneath. I forget how to do that. Maybe I do it later, like maybe this opens. But I know that there's a way to look at the bottom of the box. What was that? That's interesting. Like from this direction, it's like a scarf. But from this direction, it's pointing. It's like a hand pointing down. It really looks like a hand pointing down right here. Right here, this spot. This spot here. Interesting. And I'm sure, did I get the, oh, did I run into the laser? Psst, cut my own head off. Did I get this guy? This, I don't think I did. I got that one. There's another one, right? Did I get that one too? Oh well. How do I look under the box? I know I can. Do I have to do this first? Maybe I have to do this first. Yeah, so this is a fun little puzzle because it's all, since it's based off of your own perspective, like this is a very obvious thing. You got to separate blacks and whites from each other. It should be very simple to do. But since it's based off of your own perspective, you can't go past the environmental. So these statues are actually in your way. But I think this is something that we're going to venture into a little bit more next time here on the stream.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Solving the Witness. Let's go through this episode's takeaways. First, we have where we found that audio clip by David Darling. What do you think the reason that quote has been included is in terms of context of the witness and where it was found? Please let me know in the comments down below. Jump cut. Next question, what about the idea of Control taking the next role of analyzed, annotated game here on the channel? Should it be Control? Should it be another game? Should I stay away from it because I've never played Alan Wake? Probably, but let me know your thoughts down below. The idea of parts of the ship being repurposed to create a puzzle in the town. What are your thoughts on that? I'm pretty confident in that one, but if you have any thoughts, let me know. And finally, Albert Einstein. What are your thoughts on enjoying the beautiful experience of the mysterious and not knowing what happens when we die? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you next time. As long as you subscribe, that's an important part, so you can get a notification next time we try to solve the witness.